look at this guy. He's not even wearing anything that would suggest that he's security here. This guy.
Arrest him? You're gonna arrest her?
Security firm loses license after woman was dragged out of Idaho town hall. 3 workers for Lear Asset Management forcibly removed Dr. Teresa Borrenpohl from the Central Committee Town Hall meeting after being directed to do so by the sheriff. She was briefly hospitalized after being forced to the ground, as we saw in the video, and now has raised over $250,000 for her legal fees. Wow, look at this guy. He's not even wearing anything that would suggest that he's security here. This guy.
Arrest her? You're gonna arrest her?
Just talk for on and on and on. And look at this little girl is afraid to leave. She spoke up where these folks are shut this whole program down. Unfortunately, they're being successful. So all of you, the legislators, I applaud you for sitting there and quiet.
These are dummies! Who the are these men?
So how about that? Come on, Musk. Hey!
Oh, Jesus. So basically, these security guys from Lear Security dragged this doctor out of a town hall because she was protesting Medicaid cuts that affect the patients she works with every day. And people like County Sheriff Bob Norris don't even care. Like, they just want to exercise their authority because... So now that we're on this subject, let's go ahead and just look into Lear Security. Let's learn more about them. I don't want to go to their website. Let's see. I guess we'll have to go to their website. Ugh. Wow! Private security solutions. As it turns out, they look like fake cops, which they are, so I guess it shouldn't be that big of a surprise. It's just crazy how blatant they are about this stupid shit. Read the article in Time. California turns to private security to police pot country. What? Alright. Let's see. On a recent Sunday, a local gardening club gathered with their sheriff in Laytonville, California, a hamlet of 1,227 people. Over the summer, residents claimed men in military gear had been dropping onto private property from unmarked helicopters and cutting down the medicinal pot gardens of local residents. Local law enforcement have conducted helicopter raids in the area, but some worried the culprit this time was different, a private security firm called Lear Asset Management. The confusion was easy to understand. In the wildlife of California's pot country, the workings of law enforcement are hard to track and the rules for the pot industry are contradictory. Founded in 2012, here we go. This is what I want to get into. Founded in 2012, Lear, the name stands for Logistical Environmental Asset Remediation, is a creature of the area's unique cannabis culture. The company employs about 15 people who are mostly former military, ex-special forces, Army Rangers, and other combat veterans. They fly out on rented helicopters wearing camouflage fatigues, body armor, and keffels around their necks. They are hired by large landowners to do the work of clearing trespass gardens from private property and perform forest reclamation, sometimes funded by government grants. Deep in the woods, they cut down illegal pot plants and scrub the environmental footprints produced by the backwoods trade. They carry AR-15s lest they meet armed watchmen bent on defending their plots. Huh. Paul Charette, Lear's CEO, says that the firm was not responsible for the helicopter raids that the town's residents complain about. We do not do any kind of vigilante, black ops, black water stuff, he says. But we just saw a video of them doing black ops, black water shit at a town hall. This is interesting. It's interesting that it feels like they're trying to do greenwashing for this mercenary company. Security contracting grew out of volunteer... Hold on. Charette is neither cop nor soldier. He is a longtime fish and game commissioner in Mendocino County and the head of an organization devoted to preserving local herds of black-tailed deer. So you greenwash yourself over here by saying that you started as an environmental company, and then down here you have as much free license to do pretty much whatever you want? Just a hunch. It was a natural move for our company to move into security contracting. It's just too much to handle for private ownership. Then maybe we shouldn't have private ownership of that land. Anyway, let's keep reading this. The firm's business model is rooted in the region's complicated relationship with weed. Small bands of criminals colonize the farms, in recent years, small bands of criminals colonized the county's forests, concealing growth sites on vast parcels hidden deep in the woods. In 2011, Operation Full Court Press, a 3-week raid carried out by local, state, and federal anti-drug agencies, netted some 632,000 marijuana plants in and around the Mendocino National Forest with a street value in the neighborhood of $1 billion. Illegal growers have a record of shooting at hikers and law enforcement. In 2011, a former local mayor was killed while looking for a marijuana plant. That was crazy. So one thing that the CIA is known to do is to create patsies, and reading this story, it makes me wonder if they didn't just have some of this Lear security firm stand out in front of like all of these like different grow operations and just randomly start shooting at people, so then that way they could have the excuse of saying, hey, we need to hire security firms in order to manage this giant piece of land. Kind of like a weird kind of like a weird small 9/11. More recently, the trespass growth sites have migrated from public land onto the vast plots owned by private citizens and timber companies. Go for it, I don't see the problem here. Some of them have hired Lear to deal with this problem. Fuck those companies. The company has run about 9 missions across California's pot country this year, with more planned for the property may simply stem from a lack of legal clarity. Under the so-called false open fields doctrine set forth by the Supreme Court, the Fourth Amendment does not protect undeveloped property from warrantless searches. As a result, police may be permitted to cut down private gardens without a warrant. In the meantime, Lear has flourished, despite concerns among some local growers. But, like most people in the Emerald Triangle, Trout thinks that the best thing for the locals would be for the feds to sort out all the confusion. I think the federal government would do everybody a big favor by regulating this industry. That makes sense. So it's really interesting. I don't know what's happening here. Like, I kind of think that the bigger cannabis farms did like a small 9/11, so that way they could have the excuse to hire this like weird Lear security management team, and then that way they can just have this weird business going. But I don't know, it's hard to say. I'm gonna add this to the rundown list, and I'm gonna keep looking into more of it for later. More to come on that story.